Okay, this is part five. I think I missed out a few things yesterday. It was quite late in time, and I was tired. But I, they, they were going to. They've decided that they're going to need to give him another extensive test to see if he could look after both the children. And I guess they were deciding if he should have one extensive test or two extensive tests, one for one child and one for the other child, because the child is on a different county. Yeah, that's what they were. That's what they were thinking, and they were saying it's silly. One was saying it's silly to have two people, and well, from what I've been told, that's what they were saying. That they were silly for them to have two tests or something, and they need to be tested together, I guess. And um, and they've also said that in the meantime, these this test is going to start in September or something like this, and it's going to go on for 12 weeks. And but what was worse, okay, is that before they were talking about this test, they were actually thinking about another £100,000 program. So the same thing that Sophie was put onto last year and failed, a 3-month program. She shouldn't have gone through it because there's no way, even if she had have passed, she still was not going to be able to do it alone. You need to be a very responsible person to do it alone. I don't even think he could do it alone. He definitely needs someone to, be there, and you know, he needs someone to help him. He needs an assistant, and Sophie just can't do it alone. There's no way. But yeah, it's interesting how they were going to they were thinking and considering and seriously considering the one of the putting him in a 6-month program where both mother, baby, and two kids are in this program, and it's just how many people are you doing that for? How many people are getting this kind of extreme, free housing, not free food, but it would be free housing and free bills, everything paid for, and he wouldn't be able to work though if he did that. That would be the downside. If he was doing that, he wouldn't be able to work, and he probably wouldn't be able to pick his son Jaden up because he drops and picks up his kid every day from school, and he wouldn't be able to do that if he's in a mother baby unit that's probably up in Scotland or wherever, because it was a long way. They're not close. They're they're in they're in different places, but they're not close. So to think that you can butt into people's lives when there's a good dad doing a very good job, not acknowledging any of the good work that he's doing. I know Sophie might say the same to me. Oh, you're not acknowledging any of the good work that I'm doing. Yeah, but she's doing a good job, for a few hours here, a few hours there, and that's not how it should be. It should be all the time, and she's doing a good job all the time. So to do a good job all the time and just to still have this, that people thinking that you need to go on some sort of big program course, there's nothing wrong with his ability. He's better than most. He's better than most dads I've seen. That's how I would see him. So the fact that they would even consider that as a possibility still, after doing all the assessments that they've done, and he definitely admits that he would not do this again. He loves a big family. He loves the idea of having lots of kids. He does what would like Leo, but the stress that social services have caused him, he definitely does not want a kid ever. I was saying that I think Sophie should get a coil and prevent her from having kids, and he didn't say no or yes to that, but I feel like with the amount of hassle and problems that social services, they really have taken the joy out of having a family and having a kid. And I think this is why the people that are working in social services are completely wrong. They're completely human. You know, all the things that you would assume a human to be are just a bit dumb, not really knowing what they're doing, not really knowing how they affect people, not being able to sense if someone's really caring towards their child or not. Not, there was a girl who came in during the time that I was there, and she seemed nice. She seemed nice, and she wanted to do the best, but at the same time, and she was making the decisions, but at the same time, I feel like because Sophie's had this big warning on her, she's trying to not impress, not do exactly what's right, but try and impress the people that she works for. She's it's a job. She's getting paid. She's getting paid because these people have concerns. Now, if she says there's no concern, and I'm I don't think, I can't see any problems, Sussex is actually going to bombard her with problems and say, not Sussex, it's West Sussex. West Sussex are going to bombard her and say, no, this woman's a terrible woman, she cannot do this. But Sussex are undervaluating how good Marco is. That's what's happening, and so I feel like she doesn't even want to be. I don't feel she felt that there was any concern here, but I felt like she was coming here every day because of West Sussex saying that Sophie's a useless mum and she can't do it. But I think they've completely underestimated how good of a parent Marco is, and therefore I feel it's if these companies were run by people that are very good at spirit and very good at feeling things and detecting things. I knew Sophie was a bad parent because the thought of leaving her with the child made me feel sick. Do social services get that same feeling? Do they actually pick up on vibes? I think if someone does pick up on vibes, they can say something and put in more restrictions, which is I guess how Sophie got all those restrictions in the first place. They just those people were focusing on Sophie. They weren't focusing at all on me. They weren't focusing that there was actually a sister who was very capable and very excited about it, but just didn't want to have anything to do with Sophie because I don't like Sophie and I feel worry, worry and concern, and all the things that social services were feeling about her, I guess I was feeling the same thing, but they were completely incapable of realizing that actually there was a perfect place for the child to go. Okay, I'm doing all these stuff with the Illuminati, and maybe I feel like there's a chance that I lost Leo because of all the stuff that I'm doing with the Illuminati and inspiring songs and films, and maybe the people there got involved and are responsible for. I mean, that's what I want to know. I don't want to feel too angry over my situation because I want to know, did the people who know that I'm inspiring things, that I'm Christ and I'm doing a lot of stuff, did they realize that are they the sole reason why the courts refused to give me a test? I'm complaining about these people getting lots of tests, but they didn't even give me a test. They gave me nothing, and I'm wondering why. Either the reason is that the Illuminati had nothing to do with this, and it was because they thought I might pass the test and they wouldn't be able to make hundreds of thousands of pounds off this baby. I don't trust courts at all. Courts knew that this child is going to go through lots and lots of fostering, months of fostering, and then there's a team of people that are going to try and arrange meetings with Sophie, and then there's also a team of counselling Sophie needs for this and stuff, and there's just a huge build up of people, and so the child, did the courts refuse to let me have anything to do with the child because they knew they could make lots of money out of it? I mean, that's what I want to know. I see why I shouldn't have had the child in the first few months, because they're very big distraction. You do have to do night feeds every single night, and it is very tiring by yourself. And because I don't really like my sister, I feel like a part of me wouldn't even feel like I'm doing it for her. And I liked how when I was looking after the child and Marco had gone to work. I liked how I felt that I wasn't just doing it for the child's sake or my sake. I was doing it also for his sake, and it felt like more of a group, that like I was being appreciated by someone. Whereas if I would have taken on Sophie's kid for 3 months, a lot of work, I'd probably have to not go on the computer as much because they are a big distraction. And to think that I would do all of that with absolutely no appreciation from the parents, because one of them's dead and is the child, and the other one's lacks emotion, and I just, that would have been hard, but I'm sure I could have done it after 3 months. So I want to know why the courts refused to let me have the child back, because if this was a real social services, they would have seen that I have the ability, seen that the child no longer needs night regular. When you get to 3 months, I think that the gaps can be longer, and they're less fiddly, they're less challenging, I think. I mean, they might be louder, but I just I think they're better after 3 months. I don't know, because I've never seen a child after 3 months, because they wouldn't let me have anything to do with it, and they even banned all contact and have not given me, and they put the child like 6-7 hours away from me. Oh, and that's another thing they're going to do. They said they were going to, from what I heard, they were going to put the child 3 hours away. Right now, the child is 2 hours away. So if he has to travel 2 hours there, 2 hours back for only a 45-minute session, which is crazy, because now that she's also got another child to focus, she has to spend 5 hours of her time, going to see this other child when she's got a younger child that she needs to also take care for. So I had a dream. Oh my gosh, that just remembered me my dream last night. I just had a dream last night actually, where both the children were just given to me, and I had like one child here and one child here. Oh, in the dream, I kept losing it. We were on this train, and I had the children. I was like, "Oh, I've got the children," and then we walked down the train, and then I was like, "Oh, the children, the children!" and I had to run back. I don't know what that. Okay, that's just a crazy dream. Dreams don't really mean anything, but yeah. I don't know what that dream. When you're in dreams, you're not thinking properly. If you're looking after a child in a dream, then it's very likely that you'll move. And anyway, it's just a dream. Um, but yeah. So yeah, that's what I think. Sophie, what am I saying? So yeah, I think as for Marco, I think he's definitely very good, and that £100,000 put them in a accommodation is completely unnecessary. And I think the fact that they had that as a possibility, what I want is records. I want to hear these meetings. I mean, they're very, very boring and very, very long, but because I'm God and because I know these people, I would love to analyze these, like I'm doing with all my YouTube videos. I'm analyzing these meetings and just showing where they're going wrong. I mean, I don't think I really want to because they're drawn out, they're long, and the majority of the time they're just flapping around and saying nothing of any interest. But I think there should be a record of these meetings so that I can, properly give, so I can properly watch them and then properly give my opinion, listen to it, talk about it, talk about it. I would like then, if the Illuminati is getting involved in this, if there are some social workers above these social workers, so you've got the normal social workers that don't know anything about me, and then you've got a couple of people at the top of social work that do know about me and are just sort of overseeing you. Maybe that's what's happening. I'm God, I'm Christ. My experiences are going to be remembered. Why? Because I'm remembering it. And when people come and talk about when I come to explaining and talking about my life, I'm going to be looking at what's happened in my life. And okay, I'm spending most of the time lying in bed, but things with my sister are part of my life because it's part of what I'm seeing, and therefore, in a way, I'm like a hidden judge. That's how I felt when I was watching Sylvia, the social worker that she had now. I didn't say anything. I mean, I didn't want to say anything because I knew I was just going to blurt out, I want to talk about Leo, and what happened, and I also knew that I'd get quite angry over it, and therefore I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything, but I yeah, I wanted to I felt like I was judging her as a person, like what type of person is she? I also felt like she might not stay in social services for a long time. She seemed nice and she seemed like, she just wanted to help. But if you're being forced to help people that don't actually need your help, like Sophie does, but George Barco didn't, and therefore you're just causing problems for a family that's completely doesn't need it. And I don't know why they're making out that they need it. They're stupid. They're stupid. They can't recognize that this isn't the case. This isn't what between these two, that this isn't the same as the other one. And then Marco was saying that they're trying to get the guardian to be the same guardian for Leo as for Alicia, and they also kept calling her Alicia. I was told throughout the whole meeting they kept calling her Alicia, and I felt like that's actually quite a good thing because it's almost like they're talking about a different child. Yeah, you can say, well, that's about Alicia. You're not talking about this, the child that's okay. You're talking about some other child that we know nothing about. But yeah, and Alicia was actually named after Alicia Keys. That's the only Alicia that I know. And so I was thinking, I asked Marco, why did you choose Alicia? And he said that he was listening to Alicia Keys' songs, and the chords just struck, and something about it, one of the songs just made me think that's the name. And so that's where Alicia, that's why he's chosen Alicia. And I'm glad about that. I think it means angel of the people, and the initials actually stand as Abba, because what they've got in the surname and stuff is it actually stands as Abba, which means father. And it's kind of could be pointing to a lot of things. I had a vision of Leo and how I think it's going to play out, but because this is a vision based on needs and maybe what I want, I don't know if it's the truth. When I have visions and I feel like it's just what I want, or it could be what I want, I think they become less reliable and less trustworthy. If I have a vision and it just makes sense and I don't know where that came from, not dreams though, not like that train dream where I had both of them and I put them down and they were resting, and the next thing I know, why have I just walked away from them? I know, I don't know, that's just silly. But yeah, so this is when it comes to like um, a vision. I said in a few videos ago, a few days ago, that it was a 4 or 5. I saw him when he was 4 or 5 and he was with me, but that wasn't actually what the dream was. I don't know why I said that. So I almost changed it. But he was about 8, and this is the actual vision that I had. She he was kind of living between two people. Like sometimes he was staying with someone else, my sister and thing. But the thing is, I don't know about my sister. I I don't know what's going to happen with her. So, but I felt like he was living in two places. He was very independent, and sometimes he was living with someone else maybe, and sometimes he was living with me. But I don't know if this is a real vision or if this is just me thinking that Sophie is going to get the child back at some point, and it's going to partly be with me and partly be with him. But I sense that he's a very independent person, and I sense that if I am living in a big mansion somewhere in America, I feel like he's definitely going to be visiting and he's going to be enjoying his time. But yeah, it's this vision is not the same as all the other visions. This vision is I would like that. Like I would like him to be with me enough to have a strong connection. And you know, as for my sister, though, I just don't know. I don't know what her path is. Like she frustrates me and winds me up. And if this war is going to come, um, she who knows? Who knows? I don't want to say, but I think Marco is, very. In a way, it feels almost like he's the mum and I could be the dad of Leo, not of Alicia. That's Alicia. I feel is totally his, and she's very cute and I like her. But mums and dads get first right, so that is Sophie and him, because Sophie is the carer. But when it comes to Leo, the other one, it's strange though because he's only met Marco twice. Marco's been in Sophie's life for a year now, and he's only met this Leo twice. And I'm wondering if social services are, knowing that the plan is to give the child to me as soon as I rise, and maybe the plan is that they don't want to introduce Leo to Marco because they they don't want him to get comfortable to a sort of father figure that's not going to be there. I mean, maybe I'm thinking because I don't know what to think about them. I know when it comes to visions and feelings, when it comes to things that I want, it's very different because I keep wanting to think. I keep wanting to believe that someone in social services believes that I'm God, knows that I'm God, is aware of it. We had a big argument on the day that he left after an hour and a half. We did have an argument about how Sophie thought that the people who want Leo in South Africa were watching my videos, and I should be really careful about what I say. She also said social services are watching them, and she might lose Alicia because of them. So trying to put guilt guilt in me. The 7 people that watch your videos. One of them's this woman from South Africa, and she's shocked. Like, how do you know she's watching? Oh, because she's told me. Why is she not contacting me? And I don't know what to trust when it comes to Sophie, and so therefore all the visions that I'm getting about what's going on and what might happen, I just feel like it might be wrong because I'm getting information from her like that she's saying that social services are watching my videos and that they might take the child away from me because of this, and maybe this is the reason why um, they don't trust me, and they don't. I don't know. She's making me feel like I shouldn't say what I want because my videos are not affecting anything. They're not helping anything. They're just making problems worse. That's what she was doing. She was trying to put as much negative energy into me and make me feel bad for making these videos, even though I'm actually helping social services by saying this. But am I helping it? Is that just a need, or is that just a want, or are there people that are at the above that are watching over the people that are doing this? If I was God and Christ, I think I've chosen my sister, and I've chosen her for a reason. Okay, she's not can't look after kids, and I feel like when it comes to politics and all the things that all the laws that you want to make, I don't really care. that's democracy. That's you deciding what you think is best. But when it comes to childcare, I feel like this is my area. I'm God. This is how to raise kids properly and how to deal with people that have a question mark or might not be able to do it. This is my area, and therefore choosing someone, the Matrix gave her a really bad mum in her first life as a human, and I think it did that because it recognized that there's something not quite right with her. You could see it as an abused child, or you can see it as a child who's being abused by its mum, but would abuse her kid if things were the other way around. When she gets older, she might be a bad mum. And I don't think she even had children in her second life. I feel like there was a lot of children around, and she didn't have children in that life. And she did have children when she was Margaret, but I felt like she also had maids and servants that helped her. And so, yeah, but because the Matrix chose her to have a bad mum in this sort of farm where she was the child of a scullery maid, I think that was a sign that she was going to be the way that she is. And so I was given this child, Sophie, to deliberately mess up in a way so that I could learn what social services are doing, so that I can judge them, so that I can look over them and assess it. And therefore, it would be nice to know that there is someone maybe above the social services, or maybe social services have absolutely nothing, no connection at all, and they're just people are just watching the videos that I'm making and seeing what's going on. I don't know. Like, I guess I would like to believe that someone in social services is the reason why I failed, because um, and they did it because they knew that I'm God, and they just think that I've got too much going on. That's what they thought about Marco, that he can't juggle too many things. I mean, he's much better and I can, and I'm really angry that you've done that, and I'm not happy at all. But I'm confused as to why the people in this team are not ever considering me. There's an auntie that's perfectly capable of it. So why am I completely out of the picture? Why are they doing nothing to bring us together? Why are they not letting me try and get contact with the South? I'm confused about what's going on with my situation, and why they're not helping me. They're not helping the child by not helping the person that can look after the child. They're focusing on the people that can't look after the child, so that they can make money out of the person that can't make the child, can't look after the child. That's what they're doing, and it's very frustrating. But I want to know what they're doing, what the fuck they're doing, why are they doing such a terrible job. That's what I want to know. But yeah, I I don't know the future. I can't see it because I want to see it, and if I do see it, I'm probably just going to see what I want rather than what I. But yeah, I feel like I'm gonna. I don't feel like he's going to leave, and if Marco wants to be the mother and I can be the father that lives long distance, then I'm okay with that. If Marco does win custody of the child, I'm okay with that. I mostly want custody of the child because I don't like the child being in foster care. I don't like a child just being used to be made for them to make money out of. Children, you should look after them because you care about them, not because you're being paid, and that's what foster care is. So you need to stop foster care as much as possible, and to think that there's children that are in foster care. Actually, I'm going to stop and make another video. This is too long.